I'd like to call the meeting to order, and I'd like to ask a special guest in the audience, my beautiful wife, to come to the podium over here and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Christine, please come to the podium. Yes, don't say no. You can't say no. The mayor is telling you to come to the podium and start.
I know.
Get up here. Good choice. Let's turn the cameras around. Get close to the microphone.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Whitfield.
Here.
Counselor Morocco.
Here.
Counselor Petropoulos.
Here.
Counselor Gilat.
Here.
Counselor Grimaldi.
Here.
Counselor Peeler.
Here.
Counselor Lavin.
I am here.
Counselor Brennan.
Here.
Mayor Valentino.
Here. Welcome, everyone. Glad to see the whole room is full. Are there any amendments to the agenda that we know of? If not, we'll move on to proclamations. I have two proclamations I will read tonight. Do you have a third one over there? I see you with a folder. Proclamations? Oh, good. So I get to read two, you get to read three? Perfect. First proclamation, whereas Richard Stoll began his service with the City of Geneva Hydrant Hose Company on July 6, 1976 as a volunteer firefighter. And whereas Richard has faithfully and conscientiously served the Hydrant Hose Company and citizens of Geneva for 50 years, during which period of time he is dedicated to firefighting support, fundraising, and Hydrant Hose Corporation. And before I continue, is Richard here? Okay. Whereas these years of service have been recognized by exemplary dedication to the best interests of the community, as Richard has worked constantly to support and give back to his community, and whereas the City of Geneva continues to benefit greatly because of Richard's commitment to the supporting of his fellow firefighters and the city. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Steve Valentino, in my capacity of mayor of the City of Geneva, and on behalf of this entire City Council, would like to congratulate Richard Stoll on 50 years of volunteer service with the Hydrant Hose Company and express our sincere appreciation and gratitude to Thomas for his unwavering, that might be a misprint, for his unwavering loyalty and dedication to the residents of the City of Geneva over the past 50 years. Next I have Richard Kring, and I know Dick, and I don't see him in the audience either. So, whereas Richard Kring began his service to the City of Geneva Hydrant Hose Company on May 3rd, 1976. They must have had a great signing up about that day. As a volunteer firefighter. And whereas Richard has faithfully, conscientiously served the Hydrant Hose Company and the citizens of Geneva for 50 years, during the period of which time was dedicated to firefighting support, fundraising, and the Hydrant Hose Corporation. Whereas these years of service have been recognized by exemplary dedication to the best interest of the community, as Richard has worked constantly to support and give back to his community, and whereas the City of Geneva continues to benefit greatly because Richard's commitment to supporting his fellow firefighters and the city. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Steve Valentino, in my capacity as mayor of the City of Geneva, and on behalf of this entire City Council, would like to congratulate Richard Kring on 50 years of volunteer service with the Hydrant Hose Company and express our sincere appreciation and gratitude for Richard's unwavering loyalty and dedication to the residents of the City of Geneva over the past 50 years. Now our Deputy Mayor has a few proclamations.
One's going to be about that sweater.
It cost you. Whereas the Geneva community has embraced the vision of Geneva as a beautiful, prosperous, equitable, connected, and sustainable destination for businesses, visitors, and engaged residents. And whereas William J. Peeler, 6 years, and Tom Morocco, 2 years, have served the residents of the Geneva well during their time on Geneva City Council, demonstrating in many ways their deep and genuine love for our city. And whereas these years of service have been marked by exemplary dedication to the best interests of the community, as they have worked constantly for the betterment of its economic, cultural, and aesthetic development. And whereas their performance will be remembered as having offered excellent and constructive contributions to municipal government and advocating on behalf of the residents and businesses, earning them the respect and admiration of their peers and the citizens of Geneva. Now, therefore, be resolved that I, Peter Gillott, in my capacity as a Deputy Mayor of the City of Geneva, do hereby extend my deepest gratitude to Bill and Tom for their service to Geneva and their work in advancing the mission of the Geneva City Council. I would like to congratulate them on their years of service and offer my best wishes to them for much success and happiness in the future.
Thank you. Don't mention it.
Still money.
I only had two, because they are two, because they combined them, so threw me a curveball. Thanks, Nicole. Anyway, my second one is a very important one as well. Whereas Steve Valentino has served his community with heartfelt dedication for many years of numerous capacities, including the last 6 years as mayor of the city of Geneva, during which he has shown through his actions, leadership, and unwavering commitment his profound love for our city and its residents. And whereas since beginning his service on January 1st, 1996, Steve Valentino has devoted himself to the betterment of Geneva with an enthusiasm and determination that has left a lasting mark on the community. His work has strengthened the city's economic foundation, enriched its cultural life, and helped shape the beauty and character of the best place to live, work, and invest. And whereas throughout his service as both a member of the city council and as mayor, Steve Valentino has carried out his duties with integrity, compassion, and vision. His leadership has inspired colleagues, unified residents, and contributed meaningfully to the more vibrant, inclusive, and forward-looking Geneva. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Peter Gillott, Deputy Mayor of the City of Geneva, New York, do hereby proclaim Wednesday, December 31st, 2025 as Steve Valentino Day in the City of Geneva, and recognition of the extraordinary service, his enduring contributions, and the positive legacy he leaves for generations to come. We extend our warmest wishes to him and his family for continued joy, fulfillment, and success in all that lies ahead.
Adjourned.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that immensely.
You'd be a hero.
Next is supervisor update, and I don't see any of our Ontario County supervisors. Oh, I almost was wondering if maybe Jan was going to show up. She's probably been to one meeting, maybe. Okay. So we'll be moving on to consideration of meeting minutes. We have November 5th, 2025, and November 13th, 2025. I need a motion to accept the meeting minutes.
So moved.
That was a lot. I think that was Councilor Peeler and then Councilor Petropoulos.
Yeah.
Okay, clerk, please call the roll on accepting the meeting minutes.
Counselor Whitfield,
Aye.
Counselor Morocco,
Aye.
Counselor Petropoulos,
Aye.
Counselor Gillott,
Aye.
Counselor Grimaldi,
Aye.
Counselor Peeler,
Aye.
Counselor Lavin,
Aye.
Counselor Brennan,
Aye.
Mayor Valentino.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next is public comment, and first on my list is Richard Hoyt.
Hey, good evening. I'm Richard Hoyt. I live on Castle Street, and I'm here to present a petition. It concerns the former Media's grocery site and Castle Creek. The petition asks the city to require that any plan for redevelopment of that site include the daylighting of Castle Creek. In effect, remove the part of the parking lot that's covering it up. I also want to make the council aware of a grassroots group in Geneva known as Friends of Castle Creek. It consists of people interested in the restoration, beautification, and health of Castle Creek. If you're not familiar with the term daylighting as it applies to a stream, it's the process of restoring a buried stream to its natural above-ground state, uncovering it from underground pipes and culverts. It's a practice that many communities have used to improve water quality, provide recreational and aesthetic benefits to neighborhoods, and to control flooding. Clearly, daylighting Castle Creek throughout Geneva could be a costly and lengthy process. It would require much planning and cost-benefit analysis. The former Medaya site, however, is an opportunity for redevelopment that could demonstrate what an asset that Castle Creek could be to the community. Hopefully, the city can include specific goals for Castle Creek in its comprehensive planning, as well as partnering with the towns of Geneva and Seneca to protect the creek throughout its length. Thank you for this opportunity to speak.
Thank you. Next, I have Daniel Bullock.
Hello. I live at the end of Merrill Place, right along the neighborhood. And, Medaya's always encouraged people to cut through. They even put a steel milk crate out there. And it's always been a natural cut. Recent years, they tried to put up a fence to discourage it. And all it does is have people, including myself, swing over my neighbor's yard to get around it. And I've talked to him, and we wanted that to be removed, and I was going to do it, but then the fire, I stayed away, of course. So now that that's open, I say we need to let that stay open. And on the opposite end, I'm sorry I missed the meeting. I just met the owner of the property. They did a nice job renovating it, the church and the buildings. There's 3 houses in general. And I guess she stopped me and told me there was going to be a fence, and I couldn't walk through there. And I was kind of ready for it because my friend had a run-in with her by pulling into her parking lot. So I was calm, and I just said, but the city has a right-of-way along the creek, right? And, they're going to put a fence back there, and there are going to be signs, and they're going to tell people they can't cut through anymore. And, well, for one, that's not going to work because on the opposite end, everybody still cut through. And B, it's going to anger people, so they're going to spitefully cut through. I have a little path off the path that goes right up my driveway. People cut through there just to save going around like a couple of feet to the actual corner. So people are going to still go around. But what it's going to do is stop people from accessing that cut. The cut from Main Street all the way up to Castle is the instinctual paths of people. And it's been there for years, and people have been going there for years, and people are still going to go there. But the people of Geneva should have access to the creek there. And all they need to do is along the south side of the property, connect to where they're going to put a fence up and take it right out to Main Street, because we need to keep that open for the people. The people have access to that. It's one of the beautiful things of living in Geneva. And there's a natural cut from there all the way down to the lake, especially to the bus stop and the parking lot. That's why those lots in Geneva and Genesee Street are still open, because, paths to water or the way people move, they're going to stay that way. And you're just going to create friction by putting up a one-sided fence and a sign. I mean, is it going to be like the depot? Is there going to be a creek outlay to stop commando style? I mean, it's just not going to work, and it's going to create friction. And the people deserve access to the creek and to cut through. If somebody wanted to be a stinker, if somebody wanted to be like, hey, these people are making my dog bark, and I don't like people cutting through, I could be that way. I'm right there. I'm going to benefit more than anybody. But it needs to stay open. and it should stay open to the Media's lot. And, you know, that way people should be able to ride their bike down from Castle Street straight through to Main Street, to the library, to the bus stop. Should stay open, and thank you.
Thank you. Next is our city manager report.
All right. So if you can tell, it's a little chilly in here. City Hall is finally getting its window replacement. Not ideal timing, but that is when the contractors and everything came to fruition. So as promised, Mayor, it did snow and it is going to be cold. But staff have been in good spirits, and I think the clerk brought in a hot cocoa bar today, and staff have been moving and using this space. Other updates, on Thanksgiving Day, I want to give a shout out to our water and wastewater and our plant crews from DPW who had 3 water main breaks throughout the day, starting first thing in the morning, going all the way till late in the evening. So DPW has been very busy and often are the behind the scenes people working 24/7 along with police and fire. So thank you to them. And I think that is all I have. I'm keeping my updates brief tonight as it's the hopefully final council meeting of the year.
Thank you. Moving on to new business. First is an ordinance, first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 335, Vehicles and Traffic, Municipal Code, Lower Washington Street Parking, presented by Chief Eveland.
Good evening. Last month, we had a discussion about the ongoing parking issues surrounding the areas between 101 Washington through 117, 119 Washington Street. This is not a new issue to the city of Geneva. This came to council in 2022, where it was ultimately shot down after the first reading. Recent issues have reignited that fire to where the Director of Public Works, Joe Venuti, and I have been working on a possible solution. And tonight we're going to be making our first reading of the recommended proposal change in the ordinance. So if you look at Section 335-17 of the Geneva Municipal Law, it clearly defines the parking areas that are permitted on both the north and south side of Washington Street. The changes that we would be recommending is to turn this little parking area into an actual parking lot, which would require revisions in Sections 335-24. The 2 revisions would regulate the parking. The first revision would be to restrict parking from 2 in the morning till 6 in the morning on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and that is from December 1st to April 1st. This is already consistent with the current regulations for the south side of Washington Street in this area. The second revision would be a prohibition to no more than 2 hours of parking Mondays through Fridays, from the hours of 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. And if you remember last month when we discussed this as far as impacts to city staff or city work, nominal impacts to DPW, estimating about $2,500 annually, and this is for snow removal services, and then staff hours for the police department to enforce such regulations.
Thank you, Chief. I need a motion. Councilor Peeler, seconded by Councilor Lavin. Discussion. Councilor Peeler?
I really hope this solves the problem, because this is a bit of a controversy, and I hope it gives you guys the tools to enforce these new situations, because it's now a parking lot, and can ease the concerns of both the residents and the business owners that are really impacted by this fiasco. It's a technical term, right? Thank you.
I hope so too. Thank you.
Councilor Brennan and then Councilor Grimaldi.
One more time, Chief Evelyn, would you clarify exactly where that is? I know we were on the south side of Washington Street. Is it the entire blacktop parking area from the law office, from one end where there's a law office to the other end where there's another law office? Is that the entire length that this encompasses?
Yes, I do. I believe the numerics for 101 Washington Street, they had received a permit because it's technically a yard, and they had it cemented over, blacktopped over. So that is a parking spot for them. But it would be from, yes, that traditional blacktop area from Judge Buckley's, which is I think 117, 119 to the end.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And the hours are from 8 to 5 is a 2-hour limit, Monday through Friday or Monday through Sunday?
Monday through Friday, yes, sir.
And Saturday and Sunday is?
Open parking, no regulations.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for clarifying.
Counselor Grimaldi.
Is this presently city property?
It is, yes.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Whitfield,
Aye.
Counselor Morocco.
Aye.
Counselor Petropoulos.
Aye.
Counselor Gilat,
Aye.
Counselor Grimaldi,
Aye.
Counselor Peeler,
Aye.
Counselor Lavin,
Aye.
Counselor Brennan,
Aye.
Mayor Valentino.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next is a resolution amending the 2025 sewer fund capital budget by our city comptroller, Mr. Blowers.
Thank you, Mayor. So, as a part of the sewer funds ATAD capital project, we have a portion of funds that are sourced through a grant, and then the rest through a EFC 0% interest loan. In 2025, we had an emergency purchase for the ATAD project, and we've been working most of the year to see if we can get those costs to fall under the grant or under the loan. Neither qualified, so we did need to pull those from the sewer fund balance. Again, that was an emergency purchase earlier in the year for the wastewater plant. It totals $350,340. It still leaves the sewer fund balance at a little over $2 million, which is 35% of total expenses for 2026. So it still leaves us in good shape. It wasn't an ideal situation, but we know more about what's reimbursable and what's not and how to move forward. So we don't foresee this happening again. But again, an emergency purchase kind of put us in this situation. So tonight we're looking for a resolution to basically pull that funding from fund balance.
Need a motion? Counselor Gilat, seconded by Counselor Grimaldi. Discussion, Counselor Lavin.
Adam, can you remind us, that we've given a preliminary approval for $17 million in funding for the ATAD project?
Yeah, so I think it was, so this portion is a little over 7 million, and then I believe the second portion, which we did earlier in the year, was about 9.2, so it's around 16 million total.
Can you remind me of the timing on when the bonding for that would actually occur?
So the bonding for it would occur sometime in 2026. It's most likely around May. That's usually when we do our borrowings.
And at that time, you'll need to come back to us to get approval for the actual bonding?
We will need to, prior to that, we'll have to get approval for the bond resolution itself. So far, all that's been approved has been the parts of it that are in the capital plan. The 7 million has been approved, but the additional 9.2 would be on the next bond resolution, which will be January or February of 2026, and the borrowing's a few months later.
So that the 7 has already been bonded? You have the cash on hand?
We
yet?
don't. So
You don't?
it hasn't already been bonded, it's already been approved. So we wouldn't actually borrow that until May.
Because we're still in negotiations for what percentage of that project is going to be going to the places that actually are going to benefit most from it, the town and the city of Waterloo.
Right, so we haven't taken any of those funds
And
yet.
we're still in the process of figuring out those percentages so that the actual bonding probably has to await a decision on what percentage of the this added city spending is going to be shared by our neighbors.
Well, I would say we would still want to, in order to move forward with the project, we could still borrow for it all, and then it can be reimbursed, things can be paid back early. I mean, there's ways around it rather than to, I guess I would want to avoid borrowing for the same project several times, just because there is a cost to individual borrowing.
Sure, my concern though is that if in the end, we believe there's a much higher percentage of this borrowing that should be paid for by the town and Waterloo and surrounding communities, they may choose not to be part of the project at this point.
I'm not sure legally if they can
No.
how that would work, but I know from a just a strictly financial standpoint, if we borrow for the full amount or we end up borrowing for the full amount, we don't have to use all that money. We can give it back if the other places are going to allocate funds towards the project.
Right, but we just increased the city's indebtedness in our last budget to over $60 million.
Mm-hmm.
This project being a big part of that increase, the other part being these projects we are going to tie our hands for the next couple of years. And my concern is that we end up in a position where we're on the hook for $17 million for a project that's going to 85% of which is going to benefit the town and Waterloo, and their recompense to us is not yet formalized.
Sure. Yeah. And I think that's certainly a dilemma that we're in, because we also can't, at least this is my interpretation from DPW, Joe isn't here, but is that this is not something that can wait, years and years to get done.
Right.
So it would be something we would have to move on.
Right now, about 20% of every tax dollar in this town goes to debt. I would like, as we discuss this further, to know your estimates of what percentage of the budget is going to have to go to indebtedness with the new 23 or 24 million dollars in debt we've just voted to take on last month.
Yep.
And on this, remember, we bond and we do get reimbursement on some of this.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the big piece, is we still are responsible for doing the initial bonding, and then we get reimbursement from those other sources.
Yeah.
So it's still us taking it on in the first, and then we move forward. So we'll go through that.
But I think we need to be aware of the impact that has on next year's budget. We raised the spending 10% this year, a 5% tax increase, and $23 million in new debt that will next year and the year after, at my calculation, and Adam came up, will require a significant tax increase just to keep us at even. So I think, we just need a little more scrutiny of this process. I know the ATAD project's important for the region,
Yeah.
but we have an opportunity to ask the people who benefit from it to help pay. So,
Any other
Thank you.
discussion? I'll be happy that I don't have to have this discussion in the future. Just for clarification, there is data that tells the exact usage for sewer for outside municipalities, and it's around 14%, not 85%. So as we move forward with these conversations and this bonding for the ATAD, the alternate is to not update the ATAD, to not do it, to not bond for it. And then you would be, you could shut off the valves for any outside municipalities coming into the city. And when you shut off the valves, you reduce your revenue you're receiving from those municipalities. And you also reduce any capital requirements that they currently have for capital bonding. So
the 14% usage is a number that even our accounts as far as I can find,
it's not a guess,
tethered to
Counselor.
nothing. I know it's usage,
It's
but
an
it doesn't mean
accurate meter that
Usage.
meters the amount of material coming into the city. It's accurate.
But it
It's
does
not a guess.
Does the state law allows us to recover more than just the usage?
And that's a whole nother discussion, but we're talking about accurate usage. Clerk, please, Councilor Petropoulos.
I just want to add that we, the citizens of the city of Geneva, are also benefiting from this. So, it's not like, the town and the outlying areas are going to get the great water and we're going to drink out of mud puddles. We're benefiting too.
There's nothing wrong with the quality of our water right now.
So I want to be clear, the ATAD is for wastewater.
Sewer.
It has nothing to do with our water system.
I stand corrected, but we benefit from that
just wanna-
too.
Sure do.
One point. Just a
Councilor
point.
Peeler.
Yeah, this is just a point of fact. Also, for people who are unclear about what the ATAD is, and I don't want to sound like a shill, but we are on a unique location on the planet here between two landfills, and the ATAD unit reduces our solid waste. It's allowing us to be both healthy and responsible in dealing with our local waste in a much more eco-friendly and useful way. So this is something that definitely benefits us, and it's just a solid choice. I do think it's expensive, and I do think communities have an opportunity and a really obligation to chip in, but this is also just good. This is good.
Your Honor, I'm not against the ad TED and the plan.
I'm just
This
asking
is-
for
this is-
accuracy in
this
your
is-
statement.
My statement, it stands with that the benefit of that plant expansion is for the places where the demand is going to increase, in the town and Waterloo. We have enough ATED.
And when you say
capacity.
85%, that is not accurate, Counselor. That's all
85%
I'm
of the
saying.
benefit of the benefit
Correct,
in growth
correct.
and economic development and
Correct.
everything else is not based on usage. That's based on growth and tax-based
It's based on the amount of volume that comes
No,
into
no.
the city sewer treatment plant.
It is not, that's not how rates
Now we can argue.
are
Clerk,
figured.
please call the roll.
Counselor Whitfield? Counselor Morocco?
Aye.
Counselor Petropoulos?
Aye.
Counselor Gilat?
Aye.
Counselor Grimaldi?
Aye.
Counselor Peeler?
Aye.
Counselor Lavin?
Aye.
Counselor Brennan?
Aye.
Mayor Valentino?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next is a resolution also authorizing the comptroller to collect tax liens.
Thank you, Mayor. So every year we do this. Instead of doing water shutoffs on a quarterly basis, we switched a few years back to re-levying onto tax bills. It's proven to recoup the funds a lot better, and we don't have to shut people's water off, which is never fun, especially this time of year. So there are 17 or so pages of re-levied fees on water bills, which if anyone's interested, I can pass them around. I've got the stack here.
I was hoping you were going to read them.
Yeah, each one.
Put them on the screen.
It comes out to just around $400,000, and that's very typical for the fourth quarter. And this also includes any code or fire fees, DPW, things like that. So this is every outstanding fee at the end of the year gets re-levied onto a tax bill. It only impacts the taxpayer who has one of these fees, so nobody's taxes go up. It doesn't change the rate, doesn't change the levy. Everything remains the same except this fee that you would normally pay at City Hall on your water account is now on your tax bill. So looking to, we have a resolution here that's authorizing myself to re-levy and collect these liens.
I need a motion. Counselor Grimaldi, seconded by Counselor Petropoulos. Discussion.
Adam, do you have a breakdown of how much they originally were and how much it totaled out once the fees are added? Because it's interesting, people somehow, I mean, I remember seeing people with $25 water bills,
Yeah.
and by the time they get done, it's big
Yeah,
money
so we just
because
have
they
it.
don't realize.
We just have it as what the total is, but it does frequently happen that, you are further ahead to pay it, to
Right,
pay
by
your
the time you add all
bill
the
before all
percents
the
and
fees.
fees
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
It just, people should know that, and I know they used to come in and yell at, the, I mean, you're not the first controller.
That's why we
in
changed
there.
it so they don't come yell at us anymore.
Yeah. Lock them out, right?
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Whitfield?
Aye.
Counselor Morocco?
Aye.
Counselor Petropoulos?
Aye.
Counselor Gilat?
Aye.
Counselor Grimaldi?
Aye.
Counselor Peeler?
Aye.
Counselor Lavin?
Aye.
Counselor Brennan?
Aye.
Mayor Valentino?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next is a resolution amending the 2025 general fund budget, fire department line item transfer by our city comptroller.
All right. So, in discussions with the fire chief, him and myself were talking about some training dollars and some equipment. And at the beginning of the year, we had some equipment that was going to be used for training purposes. We had put it in the training line item. We should have put it in the equipment line item. So all we're looking to do here is to make that transfer within the fire department budget. There's no financial impact. It's just a matter of a formality that has to be done to satisfy the state controller's many guidelines. The change or the transfer from training to equipment is $9,886.21.
Need a motion? Counselor Gilat, seconded by Counselor Grimaldi. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Whitfield?
Aye.
Counselor Morocco?
Aye.
Counselor Petropoulos?
Aye.
Counselor Gilat?
Aye.
Counselor Grimaldi,
Aye.
Counselor Peeler,
Aye.
Counselor Lavin,
Aye.
Counselor Brennan,
Aye.
Mayor Valentino.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next is a resolution establishing a public hearing for the sale of 32 Middle Street by our city manager.
Yes, so this will just establish a public hearing to sell this parcel of property. It is being sold as it's an abandoned parcel, and then they will add to it and demo the property.
I need a motion. Councilor Petropoulos, seconded by Councilor Morocco. Discussion. Just a comment. This sale is a property that has been abandoned. There's actually a house on it. The purchase, I think, will be beneficial because in the past it's probably a good $25,000 for the city to do a demo on an abandoned property like that. So I believe we're actually saving money. Councilor Morocco.
I think you answered the question now, but I was going to ask, what was it zoned? Zoned residential?
I'd have to go back and look at the zoning changes, but
Yeah, I'm not sure with the.
it might be MR.
Well, you said a house, but I want to know.
It might be commercial at this point. I would have to look at the new zoning map.
All right.
Clerk,
And
please.
this is just the public hearing, so you can look at those.
Okay.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Whitfield,
Aye.
Counselor Morocco,
Aye.
Counselor Petropoulos,
Aye.
Counselor Gilat,
Aye.
Counselor Grimaldi,
Aye.
Counselor Peeler,
Aye.
Counselor Lavin,
Aye.
Counselor Brennan,
Aye.
Mayor Valentino.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next is a resolution to establish a public hearing for comment on the change in use for Loomis Woods from City Park and Recreation to sale of housing by the city manager.
Yes, so this is establishing a public hearing not for the sale, but for a change in use to allow for the sale of what is currently Loomis Woods. There has been some interest in that property and using that property for housing. And so to start that process, which is a lengthy process, we want to hear from the public if they would like to see that Loomis Woods Park area turned into housing.
Need a motion? Councilor Lavin, seconded by Councilor Gilat. Any discussion? Councilor Peeler?
My hope for the interested party before that public hearing happens is that the information about the plan or the idea or the concept that they want to bring to the table for that property is somehow also revealed to the public. I think for public comment, for public consumption, if we want people to have an educated public comment or public review of this decision, there needs to be a little bit of information prior and something more concrete than just an idea or something. I'm not saying that a full plan or architectural drawing, but something that the public can actually chew on and consider. And I hope that comes in a timely fashion before that public comment.
So I want to be clear, this is one of many public comments, so this would be the first public comment to even think about a sale. And then if the public said yes and council felt willing to sell it, then prior to the sale process, similar to the Middle Street property, there would be another public comment on that sale and what that would look like.
I understand. I
So
still
there's
think there's
multiple
value in a little bit of information.
Councilor Lavin, then Councilor Gilat.
Just because I was a neighbor of that property and I know that the offer is $1 million for the land, which would just come straight to the city. So another portion of it is to offer, if we had to make up for the loss of parkland, $250,000 of land that he would give down the road to dedicate as parkland to take its place. The truth about that property is it's been largely abandoned by the city for many, many decades. It's overgrown. It's dangerous, in my opinion. I wouldn't even let the kids from the Boys and Girls Club go over there because there's mucklands and things, trees have grown up. It's not been part of the recreation department plans for many, many, many years, and this is an opportunity to take $1 million and put it against next year's levy if we get it. That's the attraction to it. He's willing to live, I understand, by all zoning for that neighborhood. The land is zoned, matching zoning for the area. He's not coming in to say, I'm going to put up 12-story building or anything like that. But I'm sure if this goes forward, he'd be glad to come in and talk about his plans for the use. It's Dan McGowan, a local gentleman, who's made this offer, and he's often been identifying underused city land that sits there unused that could be used to raise money and use against other purposes.
And if I may, this is just to talk about changing the use, not that particular offer, but any offer for housing on that
Sure.
property.
But that's
Counselor Gilat.
prompted by the offer.
I think you answered it, but, Amy, I assume this will go out to bid if ever got that far? That not one person has already got rights to buy the property?
So that would be a determination of council. That's why we chose to do it in this manner is, and David, I'm looking at you so you can talk a little bit about why we're going in this route.
Yeah, so just so the public is clear, this is just a very preliminary opportunity for the public to share their thoughts on whether or not this lot, whatever you want to describe its current use, should be changed from its current condition to be developed into something else. This parcel may require state approval, and that is the part that is that could be a lengthy process. Before we even start to go down that path, I think this is City Council's intention to solicit thoughts on whether or not this parcel should remain undeveloped and city property, or whether or not it should be developed. And as Amy said, there's the jump from it being what it is today versus something in the future being developed is there's a large time period there. So this is not something that's going to happen overnight. You're certainly going to see, an apartment complex there or something like that. This is just the very first step to give the public an opportunity to voice their thoughts on that.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Whitfield.
Aye.
Counselor Morocco.
Aye.
Counselor Petropoulos.
Aye.
Counselor Gilat.
Aye.
Counselor Grimaldi.
Aye.
Counselor Peeler.
Aye.
Counselor Lavin.
Aye.
Counselor Brennan.
Aye.
Mayor Valentino.
Nay.
Motion carried.
Next is a resolution continuing the appointment of Kate Ott, RN, MPH, as local health officer, presented by our city manager.
This is a procedural resolution. The city health officer, our local health officer, is often the public health director, and so we regularly make this continuing appointment.
Need a motion? Counselor Gilat, seconded by Counselor Morocco. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Whitfield.
Aye.
Counselor Morocco.
Aye.
Counselor Petropoulos.
Aye.
Counselor Gilat.
Aye.
Counselor Grimaldi.
Aye.
Counselor Peeler.
Aye.
Counselor Lavin.
Aye.
Counselor Brennan.
Aye.
Mayor Valentino.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next is appointments to boards and commissions. I believe Counselor Peeler, you have a list there.
I do. What's up?
Oh, I jumped one.
What's up?
Chief, I'm sorry. You want to sell some stuff.
Yes, sir.
Next is a resolution declaring surplus of the fire department, presented by Chief Parada.
Yes, sir. We are looking to declare surplus some equipment that is about 20 years old, Jaws of Life, rescue lifting bags, and some miscellaneous vehicle and radio parts. They've all been through its service life, and they've already been replaced, so it's more of a formality.
Thank you,
financial
Chief. My
impact.
apologies.
You're okay.
I need a motion. Counselor
moved.
Gilat, seconded by Counselor Whitfield. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll. Oh, well, there is some discussion.
Just a question, Chief. Is this stuff you're looking to sell, and who are the potential buyers? I'm just curious. It's
Sure. This will be on an auction website. It'll go up to the highest bidder. This stuff is not necessarily any serviceable items for fire service use anymore, but industrial manufacturing. Sometimes these things get bought by people who will wholesale it and sell it overseas to other countries.
okay, good enough.
Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Whitfield.
Aye.
Counselor Morocco.
Aye.
Counselor Petropoulos.
Aye.
Counselor Gilat.
Aye.
Counselor Grimaldi.
Aye.
Counselor Peeler.
Aye.
Counselor Lavin.
Aye.
Counselor Brennan.
Aye.
Mayor Valentino.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Now appointments to boards and commissions. Counselor Peeler.
So unless there's any objections from the rest of council, I'd like to lump this into one vote.
Good with me.
Thank you. And I will announce the reappointments just so for clarity. I make a motion to reappoint the following. Molly D. Polito for the Board of Ethics, Mr. Nelson for the Board of Ethics, Mr. Ronke for the Historic Districts Commission, Mr. Buckley for the Historic Districts Commission, Mr. Cass for Planning Board, Kevin Reed for the Planning Board, Anthony Noon for Police Budget Advisory Board, Mike Reeder for Police Budget Advisory Board, Mr. Rouse for the Shade Tree Committee, Jeremy Bush for the Shade Tree Committee, and Daisy Hoyt for the Shade Tree Committee.
Seconded by Counselor Gilat. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Whitfield.
Aye.
Counselor Morocco.
Aye.
Counselor Petropoulos.
Aye.
Counselor Gilat.
Aye.
Counselor Grimaldi.
Aye.
Counselor Peeler.
Aye.
Counselor Lavin.
Aye.
Counselor Brennan.
Aye.
Mayor Valentino.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next is mayor and council reports, and I'll start at my left and work around. Counselor Whitfield.
Everyone have a Merry Christmas.
I like those kind of reports. Counselor Morocco.
I'd like to thank Pete for your kind words. I don't want to thank the people of Ward 6 for giving me the opportunity to represent them. You know, I tried to do my best to do what's best for the city of Geneva and help improve the city of Geneva. You know, I'm grateful to all the council members here, and Amy, and also the mayor. Even though we had differences in opinions at times, for the most part, we were all respectful of each other, and that was nice to work with. So I really enjoyed that. And I know Jamie Kane will be taking my place on council here. I know Jamie will be good for the city, and I want to thank you.
Okay. Counselor Petropoulos.
All right, in keeping with the short and sweet, yeah, the LDC meeting happened today. We talked about a lot of stuff I'm not going to bore you with. So on to the ward report. We had ribbon cuttings for Working Class Coffee and Sweet Keys. Both are really cool. Come on down. Check them out. I attended the YMCA Gala at Club 86. I got to learn a lot more about what they do. Also attended yesterday the new Epic Zone / Unity Center on North Street, the old Clark's Vision, and it was kind of a mini reunion of the county supervisors. It's kind of cool. This is going to be great. I'll keep you guys posted on this. The Epic Zone is going to be opening first, and the Unity Center a little later. What else? That's really about it. We heads up. We're looking to, and we discussed this in the LDC, Winterfest. This is something I don't think Geneva's had since I moved here, certainly. The dates tentatively now are the 6th to the 22nd of February. It's sort of a cooperative effort between the Smith Center for the Arts, the LDC, and BID. Keep that in mind. And Saturday the 6th, this Saturday, come to the Bizzuto Center. It's part of Jingle, which is citywide holiday things. There'll be crafts there, etc. And with that, I wish everybody a happy holiday, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, whatever floats your boat.
Counselor Gilat.
I like your hat, though. It's better than the other one. Anyway, the Police Budget Review Board are going to meet December 10th, and I want to, I believe, I mean, I'm looking at a draft email, but I believe they're going to invite future council to the meeting so we can discuss how they work, what they're looking at. So it'll be December 10th at 6 o'clock p.m., and don't attend unless you get the email, I guess, because I think it's still in the works. As far as the Geneva bid goes, my partner touched on a couple things here. They'll be handing out free popcorn, candy canes, and hot cocoa at the mayor's tree lighting ceremony this Friday at 5 o'clock, right?
5:30 to 7.
Stop by and meet the bid team there. Also dress warm. It was colder than hell last time. Anyway, Jingle and Geneva Art Walk is happening this Saturday, December 6th, with 18 participating locations. Original art, handmade gifts, and artist pop-ups will be happening throughout downtown from 11 to 3 p.m. New this year, 10 locations will be hosting art stops, free opportunities for people of all ages to create their own works of art. Some examples include wreath making at Lake Drum, a design workshop at Total Recall, watercolor bookmarks at Twisted Rail, and ornament decorating at Geneva Gelato. And they have great ice cream too. See the Geneva Bid website for more information on the art walk, as well as all the Jungle and Geneva events. Also, holiday decorations have gone up around town. Look for brand new lights over Linden Street this year, courtesy of the Geneva Bid. And the bid is arranged for several new trees to go in on Seneca and Exchange Street. Many thanks to Department DPW and the Shade Tree Committee for their efforts in making this happen. And I wish everybody a very happy holiday and Merry Christmas.
Councilor Grimaldi.
I attended the Housing Authority meeting this month, and everything's going smooth with them. They had no complaints, which is one of the first meetings I went to, that they had no tenant complaints. Everything's running smooth, and it was a nice, quick meeting. We got one more in this year yet. So, happy holidays and Merry Christmas to everybody, too.
Thank you. Councilor Peeler.
Thank you. The planning board did meet in November, and some of the things that they reviewed were an application by NYSEG for the sale of a subdivision to Cosentino's over on Wadsworth. They reviewed a special use permit for the OEO project, and also reviewed a site plan by HWS for the construction of their new science center, and also a standard approval of minutes. This is my last council meeting. I do want to thank everyone here. I especially want to extend a thank you to Mayor Valentino. And while I didn't always agree with every decision he made, what I did agree with, often after the fact, was how he handled a lot of the things, disagreements. He handled these things with patience and grace and solid character. And while I didn't always take his lead, I still remember what he did. I still remember what he did, and it was inspiring and a good mentor, and I just appreciate that from you.
Thank you.
So it was a pleasure serving with you, sir. I also want to remind the public that this Friday is the tree lighting, and you can hear the mayor sing a solo of "Deck the Halls." He does that every year.
Bring your earplugs.
And all right, thank you.
They allow me to sing in the shower and church. That's the only two places.
In the shower, so that's like what, once a week?
Councilor Lavin.
Once a month.
Keeping with the good feelings of the season, I was asked recently to spend an hour on Rochester radio with Evan Dawson, talking about the impacts of the loss of SNAP money for a while, but also the food insecurity in general. And as my old reporting skills, I also am doing some work out in some of the hinterlands. And I did a survey of efforts that came organically from the communities throughout the upstate to address what was happening with the threats to families. It was really great to see that of all the towns in upstate that I dealt with in the radio area, that Geneva is a clear leader from the work that the Boys and Girls Club does in its monthly partnership with Food Link to the Presbyterian Church stepping up and extending the hours and days of the food pantry at the Center of Concern, to the expanded lunch program, to the other local organizations that just organically added food as with the threat of those cuts. Geneva was really on top of its care for its community, and I think that if we're successful going into the future as a city, can do even more to support that kind of signal from the community that we care all over town here on these issues. And I was proud to be able to talk about the many things that this community is doing and I didn't mention all of them, but those are the lead parts of literally millions of dollars a year that we facilitate coming into the community to feed people and families and seniors living in isolated lives. It's happening, and it really should be, if there was a silver lining to the Great Orange One's disruption of this world here, I would say that it reminded us how much organic good, despite political differences, that are happening here in the community. So I also attended one of the regattas at HWS and was reminded, and I'm going to rededicate my purposes for the next year to resolve some of the increasing dangers along South Main Street with the parking situation on both sides, and events that are now happening out on the lake. It really is just, we're crying out for some work to be done to calm the traffic and also reduce the obstacles, because we will have somebody killed there between garbage trucks that come barreling through, dirty and smelly, and that as events happen there out on the lake more and more, you end up with almost a nuisance that we need to address. So I'm hoping to address that on behalf of our local residents out there in the First Ward. Thank you.
Councilor Brennan.
I'd like to report from the chairman of the Shade Tree Committee. We planted a total of 87 trees of 15 species native to the Northeast. They have been located primarily in the residential right-of-way, but also in the downtown tree wells and along Lakefront Park. We need to thank volunteers of the Shade Tree Committee who help install and maintain the nursery at the Doran Avenue wastewater treatment plant, volunteers at Blueprint Geneva who provided outreach to find homeowners interested in caring for a young tree in the city right-of-way at their addresses, Sidney Schumacher and the staff at BID for incorporating new trees into their spaces, Drew Rojek and crew from the HWS who laid out locations along Pulteney Street and South Main Street for over 30 new trees, staff at the Doran Avenue wastewater treatment plant who worked very carefully to design an irrigation system for our trees and who provide biosolid as an important soil amendment as well as other support, staff at the DPW, especially Joe Venuti, Steve Horton, Mike Carwick, Tim Higgins, and Mike Rollo, who really dedicated a great deal of time to this effort. We can't thank them enough for their diligence. We are dedicated to planting as many trees as possible, up to 100 trees per year, in order to provide environmental benefits which improve Geneva's air quality, provide cooling shade, absorb stormwater, sequester carbon, and support native wildlife, health and social benefits such as improved physical health, improved mental health, and increased community well-being, and economic benefits which increase property values and reduce energy costs. There it is.
All set?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you. Tom Burrow wanted us to know that he sold, are you ready? $5,200 worth of firewood. It's a record in last month. And he's approaching $19,000 in sales in the last few years. I mean, no pun intended, but the guy's on fire. It's remarkable.
Tom's amazing. Yeah, we appreciate all his efforts, definitely.
Yeah, solid.
Okay, I'd like to start by thanking my mother and father first. My father got me into this. Can't believe it. Back in 1996. And I've lasted this long. I did take a hiatus when my kids were teenagers. I'd like to thank my wife and my family who stand behind me the whole time, which I really appreciate. The community, the faces in front of me, the faces that come to these meetings over and over again, the opinions that come to these meetings. I think it's critical that the citizens of Geneva stay involved, whether it's coming to the city council meetings, whether it's reaching out to your council members, your mayor, whether it's running for office yourself. The community needs you. The city needs you, so it's important. Get on a board, get on a commission. Those are critical to the continued operation of the city and the improvement of the city. I can tell you that since the 60s till now, I've seen a transformation in the city, and I'm just ecstatic over where the city is and where it's headed. So that's important to me to keep that continuity. I'd like to thank staff, current staff, which is extremely important. You know, I've been through 4 or 5 city managers. I've been through 4 or 5 comptrollers, a few city attorneys along the way. Council doesn't make things happen without good, solid staff that has great understanding of municipal government, that has connections with state and federal representatives, that really puts the effort in on a daily basis, because council is the policymakers, but the day-to-day operations really get executed by staff, and I think that's important. So for me, council wouldn't happen without staff. I'd also like to thank current councilors that I'm working with now. All the past councilors and mayors I've worked with in the past. It's been numerous, and I'm not going to go down that list. And I'd also like to wish the mayor-electors in our office, or out in our audience right now, and I see another counselor-elect, all the counselor-elects and all the continuing counselors, I wish you well in continuing how the city moves forward in a positive direction. Friday night will be my 6th and last mayor's tree lighting ceremony. It's not just that, but if you're good, you just might get a visit from Santa Claus. So let's be good, because Friday night we'll see if he shows up or not. So thank you very much for everything. I really appreciate it, and I've been fortunate and blessed to be serving for the city for this amount of time. Thank you very much. And a long-awaited last motion for adjournment. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All right, I think that was Councilor Lavin and Councilor Peeler. I'm not sure. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
And thank you guys for the Christmas goodies.